Welcome to our first section where we are going to do an overview of the tools and the processes that are involved in document automation. So in this first video, what I want to do is talk about the general process or the way that you should be thinking about your document automations and the steps that are required with every document automation build. So there are 4 steps when it comes to automating your documents. The first step is we need to collect data. Then once we've collected the data that's going to customize the document, we need to send that data to a tool that is going to build our documents. Once we have built our documents, then we need to deliver that document to our end user. That might be us or that might be someone else. So we are collecting, sending, building, and delivering our documents in all of our document automations. We are going to show you how to do those 4 steps with several different document types in our future sections. The tools that we are going to focus on, and there you can use a whole host of tools. So this is not the entirety of the tools that you can use, but the tools that we're going to focus on are tools like online form tools like Typeform or maybe Formstack. You could have an online database tool like Airtable. We're going to show you how to use Airtable to create documents. Then you could also use like an online spreadsheet like Google Sheets. So those are some of the tools that we're going to use to collect our data. Then we're going to send our data using Zapier, Make, and Formstack. So Formstack actually has a kind of a built-in integration between their Forms tool and their Documents tool, which makes it a really convenient way to set up your automations. The tool we're going to use to build all of our documents is Formstack Documents, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But once our documents are built, then we need to deliver it, and we can deliver it via email. We can save it to an online folder like a Drive, a Google Drive folder, Dropbox, somewhere like that. Or we could actually save it back into our Airtable or a database that had the original data. So these are some of the tools that we're going to use, and you can kind of mix and match. So you could start in Typeform, go to Make, Formstack, and then email it. You could go from Google Sheets to Zapier, to Formstack, to, I suppose you could go to Airtable if you wanted to. So you can kind of mix and match these, but the steps are the same. You have to have data. You've got to send that data to the tool that's going to build it, and then you need to deliver that document. Really quickly on why I use Formstack Documents for all of my document automations. And it really comes down to 2 things. One, Formstack Documents is the most flexible and powerful document automation tool that I have found. There are a lot of other tools out there, but they don't have the power and the flexibility and the logic and the multiple document types that Formstack Documents has. We can create Word docs, PowerPoints, Excel files, JPEGs, PDFs, you name it. We can create those in Formstack Documents. We can create multiple page documents. We can have logic in our documents to include or exclude certain pages or sections or content in the document. We can create automations that actually create multiple documents in one go. So we can just tell it, hey, create this flow, and it'll create multiple documents that have logic built into all of them. So Formstack Documents is really powerful and flexible, unlike any other tool that's on the market. The one thing that it can't do that I have seen is that there are a couple tools right now that are out there where you can create and automate videos. So you could have a social media video that's got text on top of it that's coming in with transitions and animations. We're not going to cover that here because that's very kind of specific and niche, but that is really the only thing I haven't seen Formstack Documents be able to do. The second reason I always use Formstack Documents is because I like to know one tool really well, especially when that tool is so flexible and powerful. I would prefer to really dig in and know that tool inside and out. Instead of having multiple tools that kind of all do the same thing, I'd prefer to have one tool. So that's why I stick with Formstack Documents instead of using Formstack and Banner Bear and all of these other tools that can be used for document automation. I just stick with Formstack Documents. Okay, so that is our process: collect, send, build, deliver. That's what we're going to do in every one of our document automations from here on out throughout the rest of the course. So with that, let's dive into some of these tools and start to lay the groundwork for the foundational knowledge that we need in order to create our document automations.